Hey there, Commanders. So check this out. The last video I did was a basic Diamondback Explorer without engineering. That was more of a tutorial to introduce Commanders to the different concepts they have to understand when they're building an exploration ship. Well, now, in a more detailed video, I'm going to go over the types of engineering blueprints you should be working towards in order to build a well-balanced exploration ship. Now, this is similar to a build that I'm currently running in-game, although I've made a couple of changes. I run a larger power plant in my in-game ship because I use it for more things than exploration. But what I've got here is a competent mid to upper tier exploration ship. This takes the Diamondback Explorer and gets it up close to its limits. So, core internals for a good small exploration ship. Lightweight alloy with heavy-duty grade 5 deep plating takes advantage of the fact that lightweight alloy has 0 tons, so the mass gain that normally comes with heavy-duty doesn't happen. It's still in the blueprint, but you can't multiply 0 by anything, so you basically get free absolute hull integrity without any cost to your jump range. It's kind of a no-brainer, but it is a little expensive, and it's not super critical. But I still recommend people go for it because it does give you a little bit more environmental survivability. Power plant. The previous video I detailed a 2A power plant. This is a 3A low emissions, and that's to make up for the fact that low emissions reduces power output, but you gain a large amount of efficiency, and it makes fuel scooping at stars really, really easy. You can basically just park right near the exclusion zone and scoop up all the fuel you need. 4D thrusters. Dirty grade 5 with the drag drives experimental, although this is very much dealer's choice depending on what you might want to lean into more or less. I like drag drives for normal space performance, but the D-rated drives still allow you to maintain a low weight ratio so you can keep your jump range pretty high, although that does come at the cost of your speed and boost. 5A frameshift drive. This is the core of any exploration build, so if you want to have the most flexible ship possible for exploration, you want to definitely do increased range grade 5, or better yet, go and get the Tech Broker frameshift drive, which is even better than a 5A range enhanced drive with Mass Manager. But go and check out my Tech Broker engineered frameshift drive video for information on how to get that and what exactly it does. 3D life support, lightweight grade 5, keep that weight down as much as possible. 1D Power Distributor. A lot of people aren't aware that you can actually do that. The game won't stop you. But you don't have boost ability until you apply engine focused grade 5. The experimental effect is dealer's choice. I went with super conduits just to try to do something about the recharge because you definitely don't have perma boost with this. 3D sensors, lightweight grade 5. You could put A-rated in here, but my power constraints were close enough that I decided not to. You have to just kind of play with the ratios of what's sucking power and what's not to get an A-rated sensor package in here. But D's fine, and it does give you a little bit more jump range. 4A fuel scoop. This is a premium budget item, but since we're doing an advanced engineering build, I'm assuming you've got the credits to be able to fork out for it. Definitely saves you some time per star, but you can get away with 4B if you need to. 4B AFM, there are no engineering effects that are relevant to this module, so I would just skip the engineering on it because all this is going to do is make it draw more power that you don't have. 4B autofield maintenance units have more ammo than the others available, so select that whenever possible, unless you're worried about repair rates. Some exploration builds are. A-rated gets you slightly more repair rate, but with less ammo, so your call on that. 3D shield generator. Enhanced low power, grade 5, low draw. This is important for keeping weight down, but power on shields is also kind of a downer, so you should make sure that you're managing that as best you can. Some exploration ships will use A-rated generators. I prefer D's because they've got a faster recharge time. You can turn them off and leave them off when you don't need them, and flip them on when you do a planetary approach to land. By the time you get to the surface, they're ready to go. I have 2 cargo racks in here out of personal taste, but you could put an additional AFM in there that needs to stay off if you're one of those that likes to double up. I don't think it's necessary. AFMs, there just aren't that many situations you could run into where you're going to fry out an AFM in one shot. I think neutron jet cones are about the only thing that could feasibly do it. And the more sustainable solution to that is learn how to approach a neutron star. It's really not a get good kind of thing. It's super easy. It's intimidating, but it's like driving a car the first time. You just got to know you just got to have someone in there to show you how to do it the first couple of times, and then it all just kind of flows from there. I can do a video on that sometime in the future. 2G planetary vehicle hangar. G because the G-rated planetary vehicle hangars are lighter weight, but they do draw more power. You could, if you were tight on power, do the H-rated planetary vehicle hangar, which increases mass but draws less power. Super Cruise Assist. In my previous video on introductory exploration, I've explained why this is important. But if you don't care about auto nav to distant bodies, then you can put whatever you want in there. Detailed surface scanner, for obvious reasons. You have to have this in your ship in order to collect mapping data. And expanded probe scanning radius grade 5. If you're lucky enough to have participated in a recent community goal, I think it was last month, a variant of this was on offer that would give it's more powerful than the grade 5 rating. So if you have that, you want that on here. Otherwise, hopefully, it will be something that gets added to the Tech Broker's queue here soon. Hardpoints. 3E pulse laser. Lightweight grade 5 flow control. This minimizes power demand on the reactor while giving you enough flexibility that your dinky little power distributor can run it. This is basically only in here for triggering Guardian beacons and maybe for fighting Sentinels on a planet's surface if you're doing that as part of a wing. This is actually one of the reasons why I have a bigger reactor in my personal Diamondback. If you put a 4A and then do low emissions, you get enough power to use a larger distributor and a beam laser that makes it more effective at that specific task. If you're not planning on doing anything with Guardians whatsoever, especially Guardian beacons, then you could just drop this entirely and run without weapons. Utility mounts. Advanced engineering build. I'm assuming you've got a bank of basic materials available for heatsink synthesis. So a single lightweight grade 5 heatsink launcher and a single lightweight grade 5 point defense. This is also for Guardian ruins. If you don't plan on going to Guardian ruins, you can basically just drop this and not worry about it. But I like to maintain a certain degree of flexibility in my exploration builds. Now, since this doesn't have 1000 megajoules of shields or hull, it is not open safe. You should not be flying this around the bubble in open play. They're going to blow right through you if they pull you out, if you get pulled over in Super Cruise. So stay out of open play with this build, or if you're going to fly in open play, you should avoid high population systems. And if you've got a lot of exploration data and you are an open play Puritan who does not like to go into solo for whatever reason, then there are an array of space stations outside the bubble that pay the same value for your exploration data and will be more than happy to accept it in an environment where you won't get blown up. You do have some power constraints with this setup. Namely, you can't run all of your modules at once. Explorers don't really need to worry about setting power priorities since they're not going to be in combat, although it's kind of recommended. I've chosen not to in this video because really all you have to do is turn your AFM and your planetary vehicle hangar off and you basically are golden. And really for exploration, you can turn a bunch of this stuff off if you know you're not going to use it. Things like once you've scooped fuel, if you're planning on hanging around a system for a while, you can shut that off. Power distributor, once your power priorities are set, you can actually shut the power distributor off. It doesn't hurt anything. Point defense doesn't hurt anything to be off until you land. The heatsink launcher doesn't need to be on all the time, although I usually leave at least one on for stars. Other than that, I think that's everything. This is not an expensive build credit-wise. It is engineering intensive, so you're going to fork over about 12.5 mil with a 616,000 credit rebuy. It'll probably, if you don't have the engineers unlocked, then this is a long-term play. It'll take you a while to get all this stuff together. But the frameshift drive, the Tech Broker frameshift drive, you could probably get enough stuff to go and grab that as a priority. In fact, I would make that your key priority if you're putting an Explorer together that has a grade 5 or a size 5 frameshift drive. The Tech Broker frameshift drive has rendered Felicity Farseer mostly irrelevant. There's no reason to blow any materials on a range optimized frameshift drive when you can go to a Tech Broker and get something way better. The only reason really to go to Felicity Farseer now is for shielded FSDs. The Tech Broker has both of these blueprints up here covered. Combat ships may still want to take advantage of shielded frameshift drive tech, but every exploration ship that can take a 5A frameshift drive is hitting up the Tech Broker, or should be. That is a more advanced Explorer in a nutshell. That's also all I've got for today, so I will catch you guys later.